Hey guys, we'll be ready in just a minute. AR, why don't you say a few things? I think I muted myself instead of unmuting you, but it's fine now.
Okay. I have not thought about Digimon in 2 weeks, so this should be interesting.
Dev, few words.
I actually kind of want to watch more Witch from Mercury.
Yeah, Dev messaged me right after she saw the first episode, and it was like multiple things, including like, is all Gundam stuff good like this? Like she was one
That's a
episode,
dangerous question.
like she was one episode in and she was enthralled, and I believe it was also like she's like, I don't know a lot about Gundam, but I get a vague feeling a lot of these people are gonna fucking die at some point.
Yeah, being enthralled with Witch from Mercury, I completely understand.
Specifically,
Watching one episode of Witch from Mercury and being enthralled with all of Gundam sounds dangerous.
Oh, it is. There's plenty of Gundam to enjoy. Is all Gundam like this? No.
No.
well, it was specifically, it's like, wow, I'm getting the feeling that all these characters are going to die immediately, and maybe two will survive, and they'll have a lot of PTSD, and goddamn was I on the money.
To be fair, that is a Gundam thing.
I need to watch that.
Like if you knew how many Gundams,
Gundam-y.
like if you knew how many Gundam series that begin that maybe episode 2 or 3 you have brother, mother, and or someone else die horribly in front of the main character, and that's what then pushes the story forward.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, get a sip of water. They can hear us. Anyone grab your drinks if you need to.
Drank and all the drank.
Okay,
Drank the dranks.
Okay, you guys ready to
go?
Good enough.
Okay.
I should probably pull up the notes.
Welcome to the Little Podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, Run with the Will, and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver, desperately trying to remember what a Rugamon is.
I'm DevQ, and I really want funnel cake.
I had churros earlier.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Now I want some sugar-based treats.
Yeah, I went to Costco earlier to look at new glasses.
Nice.
The ones I got last year when I had my eye exam were these are free with insurance. The wall. It's like, okay, I'm at the optometrist anyways. I might as well pick something, and then I'll find something else I like later. And then it's roughly 10 months later. I'm like, some parts of these glasses are dissolving.
Oh, jeez.
Because it's like that. It's like that rubber plastic material.
Oh yeah.
So imagine a year of that up against your face with sweat and everything, and I can see places where it's actually no longer there.
Huh. My glasses held up
one of the reasons why I have metal ones.
Yeah,
my glasses held up for 5 years because I went way too long between appointments, and then a pandemic happened.
Yeah, that's what happened with the last one. Was I got my quote unquote last glasses in 2018, 2017. They're holding up great. Then January 2020, I went, I'll probably get new glasses soon.
Oh no.
And then last year I have the eye appointment, and I'm there, and I'm like, I should just order something with the new prescription, and at some point I'll go somewhere and pick something else. And then it turned into, well, I have working glasses. Am I gonna go out and deal with it when I have them? It's like, at some point it's like, yeah, there's bits dissolving. I should go.
Yep. Now I got new frames in January. Finally got that taken care of.
Yeah, so I dealt with that. I also went and looked at new mattresses and bed frames.
I straight up got Hatsune Miku glasses because, yeah.
Nice.
It is always amusing. It hasn't happened in a while, but it is always amusing to get messages from you when you went out looking for Hatsune Miku stuff. And you're like, I found Digimon stuff.
Because I'm at Hot Topic a lot.
But how much Digimon Hatsune Miku stuff do you have?
More than she found some of that shit. She was the one who first noticed that stuff showing up at Hot Topic.
Yeah, because I'm there several times a week because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I have a t-shirt and a pin.
Yeah. How has the last few weeks been for everyone?
It's been interesting in ways that are not related to Digimon.
Yeah, I'm that weird form of tired but not sleepy.
Yeah.
I am exhausted beyond the capacity for rational thought.
So it's been a normal 2 weeks for Dev. And hey, look, it's Seekers, which
Oh
is
right, that
which
exists.
is great when you wake up on a Sunday and you don't want to do anything, and then 5 minutes later you're done and don't remember what you just read.
Yeah,
It,
that
it's
So just
happened.
like going to school.
it sounds mean, but that like is Seekers at this point. Where like it comes time to look, it's like, what was the last chapter? It's like, okay, he's chatting with Lugamon, and then a Chumon is there, and that is all I remember.
Pretty much. I will give it credit for this. Lugamon has an unexpected personality.
To be fair, so did AG. I don't think
Course it did.
we expected sad
Yeah,
sack
I
dumbass.
was to the degree that AG has been disappointing
Yes.
as an edgelord.
Yes.
Lukamon has been somewhat redeeming
Yes.
with his traits.
Now, but the only issue is Lugamon a character, or is Lugamon both the suit and the AI from a random Iron Man movie?
I think he's the character. I'm
I'm
gonna
not,
go with
I'm
that.
not sure he is yet, because at the moment his dialogue is all falling into the zone of, I have something cool to say in response to someone, and also I'm going to turn my head slightly and pose for the camera. But this is
I
a
mean, I'm
web novel, so there is no camera.
I'm glad somebody's showing AG how to do it.
Yeah. To be fair,
Lukamon's the tamer in this relationship.
to be fair, when we saw the
Yeah.
art, we assumed AG would have some sort of agency in the story. We mocked that he was going to be from Kingdom Hearts, but we assumed he would have something to do with anything. Yeah.
The answer is no. He doesn't even have
I
Keyblade.
think that's your first problem because at Kingdom Hearts, Sora gets basically just jerked around a lot for pretty much half the franchise.
Yes, but you get good music and imagery, which we kind of aren't getting here.
That wasn't the comparison you were making.
It's part of Kingdom Hearts. When you see him being a sad sack, at some point, Goofy or Donald kicks him in the ass, and then they play simple and clean a bit, and then Hercules runs through the screen.
Well, now you got Shumon for that.
And you also get Mickey Mouse in a hoodie jumping around like Yoda for some reason.
It's sad that Mickey Mouse. It's sad that Mickey Mouse is a better edgelord than AG.
I hate that you say that because that's actually true. That's not even okay. So chapter 111 is basically properly introducing Lugamon, and like weird. See, here's the thing: they want us like to take that Lugamon's like powerful. There's a flaw with that. The only person that we see like looking up to him or like being scared of him is a Chumon.
I imagine him being like the saddest mafia boss ever. Like he is a legit mafia boss, but his ring is so pathetic.
Oh my
that
God!
everyone makes
Are
fun
you?
of
He's
him
like
for it.
the son of a mafia boss.
No, I know who he is. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's Donald Duck. He walks around being all proud, and like his nephews and everyone are kind of like, yeah, Donald's great, and then, but he's still walking around like the only person who like respects him is Goofy. I think that's what he is so far. He's a less interesting Donald Duck.
Trying to figure out which.
Does that make AG goofy?
Trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out which Pokemon evil team that Pokemon is the head of.
So
like, is he the head of Team Skull or something?
AG can't be Goofy for a key reason. At some
Goofy's actually competent?
We know Goofy had a girl because he has a kid.
Yes.
And
well, then he did all those different shows of like how to like look and barbecue.
Goofy has a successful career and has known a woman biblically.
The most important one of those is when Goofy was putting up a hammock.
Mm-hmm.
I have fond memories of Goofy fighting with that line about the hammock. I have not yet seen that from AG, although that actually could happen.
I think Goofy changed a tire.
I think we should have a reading of Seekers where the announcer from those Goofy shorts
Yep.
is commenting on everything AG. No, the announcer.
Uh,
And now AG is trying to do something cool, and he
he's
cannot.
and he slipped. If you go to your neighborhood store, you too may be able to do this, although read the instructions first.
When trying to activate your mind link.
Do not use visuals straight out of Iron Man. I think that's see, and you alluded to this last time, since they kind of did like a chapter 1 plus type thing for the video. A lot of this we've guesstimated what the fuck's going on because we've seen it. So like MindLink actually could have been like a cool thing to introduce, except we kind of already had guessed what was going on because they showed us the Iron Man thing. And then I mocked it for like a month and a half, and we're only just seeing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Only a month and a half?
I'm pretty sure a month ago I was singing one of the Iron Man songs.
Yes, you definitely were.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I'm
right.
not saying well, I'm saying I sung it. Yeah, so then the new one they stop to once again remind us that they don't have any original ideas, and they're going back to Cyber Sleuth. Because they're going back to the
the Eden.
No, I always forget what that old Chinese city is. The
the
Kowloon.
Yes, where they're going back to like the block-walled city. And it's like they're doing that again.
I mean, I don't mind that the digital world is presented like that. I think that's the first time we've seen a digital world portrayed as just an urban wasteland kind of thing. I should say that in its well, I suppose it's not in its entirety.
It's not its entirety.
So,
in fact, you realize what we're looking at, right?
Just the outer shell.
It's the net from 2020.
Yeah, that may be.
It's just the surface world because they did this in 2020. It just looks like Kowloon. They did at least based on for whatever reason, I don't think people are aware like how much we know about the digital world, because people keep pulling up that map image and going like, we've never seen any of this before. It's like, no, we've seen this is
we've
seen a lot of this.
It's like various other digital worlds slightly integrated with the internet landscape that we're familiar with. Except unlike Appmon, this one gets deep web right.
Yeah. But this is pretty solidly one we've seen before. They just stopped to show us a map.
I don't know if it's one we've seen before, but this
I
mean the notes.
No, I mean in the context of they go over what the surface web, they go over the deep web, they go over the dark web, and they say somewhere in this is the digital world, and the digital world has a surface equivalent before you get to the real one.
That's Tamers actually does a lot of that.
Tamers does it. 2020 did it.
Yeah,
I believe 02 alluded to it, but I don't think we ever saw the surface equivalent. And they don't even tell us if Wall Slums is the entire surface or if that's just an area of. In fact, this is basically Cyber Sleuth, even the world setup.
I mean, the whole story so far is basically Cyber Sleuth, so that's not inconsistent.
It's Cyber Sleuth, but slower. Although I will say the best part of the map is not the map, because I know people are interested in the map because
it's the little Marine Angemon.
Yeah. That's exactly it. People are interested in the map because when they tell you it in text or in video, you have to kind of envision it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get an actual image, you can go, okay, there's this, and this. They haven't shown it to us like this, even though they've explained it. But the best part of this, honestly, is the little, like Dev said, the little sketches of the Digimon that are slightly not fully produced, if that makes sense.
I'm in favor of any map that includes sea monsters.
I think the best one here is Gardramon, though, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, and then 12's kind of weird. So there's 3 things about 12. The first is they stop to explain what we've seen thus far of the digital world and Wall Slum and blah blah, which a few chapters have done this well. This one does not, because it feels like it was telling us something last time, and then it stops so they can do more ecology stuff.
Feels like all of this stuff could have been integrated into the previous chapter far more successfully, and we could be moving on to new stuff by now.
Yeah. And then it moves on to, and this is where it falls into. There's always a weird thing that happens with any part of the Digimon franchise where some people go, oh, this character is unique to Digimon, how it's handled. They're not the special child, blah blah. And then a minute later, that gets knocked over. We get the shadowy figure who's associated with Sock watching down on them, and then like they go over everything, and Eiji's like more of a sad sack. Like it's getting to the point where it's not even like a fun sad sack. It's more like, can someone like hit?
Most pathetic little shit.
Well,
yeah.
It doesn't help that he alternates between sad sack and exuberant fanboy.
But also, like, he doesn't. He's put into the story where he doesn't. Not only doesn't he know what he's doing, he doesn't understand the basics, and even when he figures it out, he kind of wafts between, oh, it's real, and oh, it's a game, in a very weird fashion.
By this point, you see a lot of protagonists do something cool by now.
Yes.
That kind of shows that he has a potential to have an edge over the system. And so far, Eiji is just knees deep in the system, kind of working his way up the fairway, and that's just boring.
Yeah. And it's especially boring because multiple times other characters have somehow suggested they see something in him.
Yeah.
But at no, but like
I assume they are lying.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, 2020 has many issues, but from episode 1, you can tell there's something about Taichi when he goes off to rescue his mom.
Yeah,
and sister.
Like Taichi has the opposite problem.
Yes.
Like, he's too special.
Yes, and that kind of thing happens with Taiki also, where you can see there's something special, whether they know it or not.
Yep,
Here,
Taichi and Taiki are the two biggest guilty parties at the other side of it.
Here, everyone's like, Eiji could save the world if he just understands.
When the sock guy's trying to prop him up, I'm like, really?
Yeah,
this
is where like they haven't made the protagonist interesting enough, so they keep telling us, no, he's cool, he's gonna do cool shit. We promise. You may wait months to see it, but we promise he's not. He's interesting,
and it's especially problematic in a case where all of the interesting things that he has been doing so far are empowered to him by the professor.
Yes.
Like, that's the only reason he has anything to do with any of this.
It feels like if the watch had just been in his apartment or something when he got home, without it being, and he just assumes the professor sent it to him, or something would have helped. Instead, it's all being handed to him and told that it's special, or even if he doesn't hear it, like in the case of Sock Hood Guy, the literal ending of the chapter is, I pray you'll pass the test for It stopped.
It's like going from Pokemon Red and Blue, where the professor's like, okay, here's a Pokemon, get the fuck out of my office, to Sun and Moon, where he will not leave you the fuck alone and just keeps following you every 5 fucking feet. It's like, no, go here, go here, go here.
It's a little Tagiru-ish, if anything.
Yeah. So, and next week we get chapter 1-13.
Woohoo, I can't wait.
I'm trying to decide if chapter 1 is set so it doesn't end before people get their watch bands. Which I believe have begun to ship as of like today.
I just want this to be a big troll job, and we get to next March and we're at chapter 1-60.
Yeah,
and then it ends.
And then they put up 2 more batches of the fan art. They've been picking some good art, honestly.
Oh yeah, art's been wonderful.
Yeah, and then
Lugamon is still cute.
That's like the only universally positive thing I think anyone has to say is Lugamon's cute. And also people debating if he was evil in a past life. It's like, are we really doing? I don't think they're doing Ghost Game again.
Don't get into that. Just like, I like the idea of Lugamon as a mafia boss, because this little guy trying to be a corrupt
Are you
leader.
are you telling me that he's actually played by Joe Pesci?
I can't decide if that makes his character so much better or
Yeah,
so
that
much worse.
actually that is a flaw. That would be better.
I don't know if I could handle Lugomon being voiced by Joe Pesci.
Just pitch it up a little.
Could you imagine it if he was Fat Tony?
Yes, I want him. Yeah,
Hmm.
Fat Tony works for me.
Okay, that's great.
That was my initial thought was Fat Tony.
Well, I
I
was originally gonna say Fat Tony, and I'm like, the problem is Fat Tony. They always frame as, or mostly frame him as actually being serious. You will see Joe Pesci go around in movies being like a fuck up.
As a compromise, potentially Lugomon could be voiced by one of the not Joe Pesci good feathers from
That
Animaniacs.
that is that is an
Yeah.
acceptable compromise.
Let's go with that.
Yes, and then after Seekers, hey, Digimon Adventures coming subbed on Blu-ray.
Oh hey.
Fucking finally.
Are you shocked?
Yes. I never expected this to exist.
Did you expect me to be producing it and Onke to have done the translation?
Never.
I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm happy it's coming out and it's done. And I'm
And then I
tired.
can throw money at it.
Yes. I actually think the video looks better than the dub set, to be honest.
Oh nice.
Well, you did have like a slightly better
Yes.
place to work from.
Yeah. Did you see the subtitle formatting samples?
They are sexy.
I'm really happy with how those came out.
I really like the Digimon Analyzer ones. It's like, oh, this is really legible.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
yeah, I'm happy how it all came out. Especially since if you actually tried to overlay everything, it would have completely destroyed the subtitle buffer on Blu-ray players.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
So the actual compromise as to how to have all the information there, I think actually works really well.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors work and everything. The title screen I'm happy with. I'm just very happy with how everything came out. And it's a few days before August 1st, which I would love to take credit for, but was just a happy accident.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm very happy with how everything came out. Getting to include some extras. Video looks good, audio is good, subtitles are good. I'm just happy about everything, and I'm glad people are looking forward to it.
I'm still delighted by the other half of the Digimon eyes being used on this disc set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was the thing when we put it together was there was no way it was the first one was going to be more than 4 discs. It just was unnecessary. There was no way. So I was like, okay, we'll just do half and half. And then you see me with like all 4 names in a pile and like trying to decide how to intersplice them so it felt fulfilling.
I was wondering who got that job.
No, that was me. So I like specifically went, okay, I don't want Tai and Kari on the same set. I don't want Yamato and Takeru on the same set.
Kari split up Yamato and Takeru. You split up Taichi and did you split up Taichi and Yamato?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the idea was that you want disc 1 to feel like a headliner.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Balanced,
I went because you can't have Taichi and then Yamato because who will headline set 2?
Right.
So yeah, it was like, okay, this. That's like I don't want Hikari on any of the. Ignoring that I wanted her on the separate set anyways. I want to make sure she's on a disc that actually covers episodes she's in.
That's fair.
So I moved her to the end. Takeru.
Yeah, you also want to make sure a girl's on both sides.
I didn't put that much thought into it because it just naturally was splitting that way regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like once you do like.
But I guarantee you that if you had split it originally and found out that all 3 girls were
on no, yes, I would have redone it.
You'd go, oh nope, that's got to be changed.
That would have been redone. But yes, it was literally like having all the names going here, 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 and it's like switch these two, and it's like that's like
You have to talk to. This is me doing brackets for my tournament thing.
Yeah.
So.
And then at one point, I was looking like, is the Gomamon eye too close? Is the outer white almost too close to the Gatomon white? And it's like no. I'm comfortable with this order. If that's as close as anything gets to being off, I'm very happy with it. So yeah, happy with how everything came out. Looking forward to people getting to see it. I'm very tired. And that will be out at the end of July.
I hope it does well enough that Discotech decides, hey, let's make Mark do every single Digimon series exactly like this.
I can very safely say I have no plans to work on every Digimon series.
Oh, we want to see your Saber set.
Yeah, I guarantee you I'm not doing every Digimon set, period.
at this rate, Sabers is going to come out in Blu-ray in America before it comes out in Japan.
Yeah. And then it's nice that we actually get to jump back to Ghost Game for something fun. There was an interview with Asako Sukahara, who basically heads up they say Design Room. I think it's Design Room is an actual company that Toei owns. I think it's actually like Design Room Limited, I think. And they head up a lot of the Digimon stuff there. And they went over a good bunch of stuff in a two-part interview. So they start with Ghost Game. The explanation of the logo's great.
Yeah, I mean, this is all just. I don't know how much into specifics we're going to go. It's just cool to get the instructions that they get from the producers and the
Yes.
mentalities that they take in going into producing all this promotional art.
And here's what we'll get into that with the Frontier one, but one thing I like with the Ghost Game stuff is people like to play up the idea that like the companies are against when they're doing creative stuff. And it's shocking how often it comes up in these with like the companies actually had a really good idea what they wanted, and not a lot changed from that because it actually worked. Like the calendar image, the perfect form art. I like when they pointed out like the special visual for the one episode where it's like they wanted a cute Gamamon one, but also one that would make it look like Gamamon's crying, and they laughed while they were commenting on it. Then showing the Anna birth, and it was like, yeah, the staff there requested specific poses because they would look good in merchandise, which makes sense.
Yep.
And like even how like, oh, the staff listened to suggestions, like they want to have Angoramon having like the jumping running leg pose, just so it was a bit more dynamic than some of the poses he's used in. And you can see that with the Cerezo Osaka one, where like at first they weren't like they talked about. At first they weren't going to have uniforms on the Digimon. They just kind of went, it feels like they don't quite fit in. And which is funny is I think we all said like the Jellymon one was like the best one, and that's one that even they note. The hero running thing. I like him pointing out that he thinks Hero got a better position in the group art because Hero's short. Yeah, and then we got a lot of details for the show's over party art. Yeah, like a lot of interesting details there. A lot of stuff we noticed, but I just like how they point out they're wearing their partner's colors and everything.
Yeah, and Gamamon is eating his sweets because that's his thing.
Yes.
Like he's already ripping into that cake.
Yeah.
I wish I could rip into that cake.
Yeah. Or including the babies, which everyone noticed. And then they did the same for the Frontier one's more interesting because none of this is like promotional art for the show. It is all of itself, which I think is kind of interesting. Because for Ghost Game, anything that they do with Ghost Game has to be taken into account that a show is running, it's marketing for the show, where this is all stuff that's basically designed as it's meant to sell something. Very directly. So they talked about how like matching some of the poses, some of the stuff's interesting, like looking at the kids in Digimon in the pop-up theater art. And you go, Tomoki has his legs up, so it matches the skis. Takuya's doing the V pose while Agdimon's doing his attack. Then it goes to, say, the anniversary art, which they point out stuff that I didn't really think about, like, oh, they're all missing their head stuff.
Yep.
And that's
which makes sense, but
it does, but it's weirdly abnormal for Frontier.
Yeah.
Or like, if you look at the full resolution of the art, Koji is actually embarrassed that he's holding flowers. Stuff that you don't notice when you're looking at it small.
Which again is like there's a nod to the continuity of Koji and flowers. Like that's a whole thing.
No, yeah.
It's like they're aware of that there's a thing going on, and it's like they also talk about the getting to dress up the characters a little bit and imagining how they'd have formal and establishing Junpei having a certain style to them.
Yeah. Or pointing out that Izumi actually has, it's like a dress coat thing. I hadn't noticed that until I was actually reading the notes for this and going, what are they talking about? She's not wearing a jacket. And then I'm looking, I'm like, oh, it is it is like a dress coat thing.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't notice that. I thought it was just a party dress.
And this is the excitement over having characters, wearing different outfits. It's a chance at more expression. It's like seeing the characters wearing the same thing in promotions over and over again does increasingly become disappointing because you see stuff like this and how much thought they put into, okay, how is this character going to dress for this particular motif?
It's actually funny because they had plenty to say about that one, and the next one they had very little to say about, which is the D-scanner art.
Well, yeah.
Which is functionally redrawing something from the show nice. And the main thing they had to say there was that often when they do this stuff for toy packaging, they do this really fancy art. It never gets used again. And a lot of times people don't have the space to keep the pack. So they were really happy that they got included as cards.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a neat touch. The Tokyo Character Street one, there were some weird details in this one. The manufacturer already had images of like the costumes and flowers and everything they wanted to be used. Which is really interesting because in many cases these colors don't match them at all, but you look at them, the outfits, and you go, that's perfect for that character.
It is, yeah.
And that was something that they noticed. The flowers, they were seeing
it's cool because it works with the characters and their outfits without being the characters' default colors. That's really hard to do.
Yeah. And also the interesting thing was the product manufacturer did not send notes on specific flowers, but just what colors they wanted the flowers to be. So they picked so they designed the bouquets, but the colors were picked by the product maker, and you can actually see like they match the characters, they match the outfits. And like you said, that's not only not easy to do, it's a lot of thought for basically one-off product art where you could get away with a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't need to try this hard, but we're glad that you did.
And they even point out they wanted this to have a cuteness and a glamour that you often don't see in Digimon. Stuff like Tomoki smiling. And yeah, it just looks neat.
And especially Frontier were a series where they're wearing the same thing the entire show.
Yes, that's actually pointed out in one of them, is that Frontier, there are no aren't costume changes in Frontier. So for DigiFest 20, this one's interesting because they even talk about the background causing issues. Because at first they're like, it's going to be hard to do this because the characters have such a wide variety of heights that in a vertical-oriented image, there's going to be a problem with making them line up. And they're like, wait, there's a stage made of steps at the back of the venue. So they can actually use something at where DigiFest is to get away with it, which is just a neat thing. They talk about spending a lot of effort on the clothes, and they point out you can't really have Frontier art of the kids and the Digimon standing side by side, so you always have to find some way to represent the Digimon.
Merch.
Yep.
Merch.
Yeah.
The Chalkmon backpack is still the
case. Right.
And they mentioned they actually got a number of messages about, well, is this actually merchandise?
Right.
Yeah. Because like you look at like the Blitzmon towel. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that was all stuff that was not designed as actual merchandise. It's designed as like accoutrements for the art. Um, they brought up the O2 stuff quickly, just like they wanted it to look like a fun atmosphere and match the characters, like Iori sitting there reading.
Yeah.
Ken's there doing nothing, which is very much Ken.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
My favorite in there is still Wormon, just somehow holding the little light.
and they mentioned in the rough drafts they actually had the characters looking at each other. And I can understand why they got rid of that, because it would have been very strange if you did not have them looking at the audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because these end up on merch.
Yeah. Then you had the pop-up store, which is the pajama stuff. I like how the manufacturer's main request was to make sure that whatever they're holding has the Digimon on it.
Yep.
They also point out the light colors are very unusual for Digimon stuff. Like
Well,
the
yeah,
kind
usually
of
it's like
pastel
darker,
looks.
more saturated
Mm-hmm.
colors.
Yeah. And the art was apparently made with the idea of it fictionally being something they would do when they got back. And they also pointed out that they thought the Chalkmon slippers ended up cute. For some reason, my brain keeps forgetting the Chalkmon slippers are there. I just see Chalkmon and go, Chalkmon, and then move on.
Well, because your eye goes directly to like the pillow, and
No, exactly.
slippers are like usually cut
And
off.
I still think one of the funnest parts of this was from the manufacturer. They're like, do the goggles as a sleep mask. And they're like, that didn't change at all. And the most interesting thing is that idea is from the product manufacturer, and there was not a sleep mask product. Meaning they were sending actual character details, like not as like, oh, we're making a goggle sleep mask. Do that. They're just like, we think this would be a good idea. And I love that. It
And
worked
then
great.
making us disappointed that these products don't actually exist.
Yes. And then the final bit of art they did for the 20th anniversary Frontier was actually the CD covers.
Yeah.
For the covers, they go into a lot of detail for this one. They got the rough from Feel Me, who is the music company. They basically just reproduced their idea and made it nicer. They started to draw stuff while they were still figuring out the poses. The Digicode, the children look at them. Trailmon on the tracks, the moon from the final battle. They seem really happy with like how the coloring works, which I think actually the shading is very different from a lot of Frontier stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're happy how it all came out. And Sukahara finished by saying they're currently working on the Digifest 2023 art, and they're actually doing some different stuff this time. The layout's very different, and apparently more of the stuff the kids will have in the image are going to be actual products.
Like, we learned our lesson the last time.
To be fair, the Digifest stuff was all neat. Like, they do have some stuff that's actual products, but it's all like generic in the image, like Eeyore reading the pamphlet. It's not like it's styled after the real pamphlet. It's just a pamphlet. And all like, how many people would have bought that Agnemon shirt if they had that with the goofy SD face?
Right.
That would have been neat. So yeah, Frontier got a lot of love for the 20th anniversary. And then this has already ended. The Digimon Comic Award happened. I will say I love the amount of detail they went into it.
I hope to see stuff from this.
Well, that's the thing. Theoretically, you won't see anything from this.
Yeah.
Because the submissions are not for the actual comic. It's for you to show your work. And then you get to, if you're chosen, you get the chance to properly pitch and work on something potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still hope to see like after it's all done, like.
Well, here's the interesting thing. The rules actually specifically said it could be stuff that had already been put up, released, whatever. You're just showing your work. So if someone could have just sent in a doujin they had already published, for example.
I mean, they allow up to 55 pages. That's a
Yeah.
lot of work for a submission contest.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the idea is if
You've got
someone's
something
yeah,
already.
if something already has something, they don't want to make you do something new if you have something good to show off. Their main like you may have to change the format request was if you're doing a 4-panel gag type comic, 2 per page in formatting, please. And that's reasonable. So
That said, that said, the OCs only would be tricky. Like
yeah.
if some dojins wouldn't be, you can't do a dojin based on an existing series.
True. Although I admit,
Yeah, some would have just been like Digimon only
Yeah, if
instead
it
of
was Digimon
doing
only, it
that.
would be fine. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Although I admit
it's
the one thing I was confused by was it seems like you could use anime Digivices as long as it was just the Digivice, I think.
yeah.
I admit I don't know if I translated that part correct. That was confusing as shit to me. But that's as close as I could get to it. I'm looking for I think the judge lineup is perfect for this.
Oh yeah.
Bandai, Toei, the V-Jump editorial board, Kenji Watanabe, and Tenya Yabuna. And I love how the categories like are just it can be anything. Do a comedy, do a gag, do a battle, do an adventure. In V Jump, they showed random frames of Dreamers and like giving it fake genres based on this. Yeah. So we will hear about that soon-ish, hopefully, because August is. I assume when they say August, they mean at the end of July at DigiFest or the day after.
Yeah.
So we will see. Then we get another of the DigiGift wallpapers. This one's weird because as far as I can tell, it is new art,
It looks new.
but like the composition of the wallpaper itself fucking sucks. Like the vertical format is great, but like if you zoom into like the calendar, the
Oh yeah.
it's all like low resolution and weird. I fixed it without recompositing anything, so those kind of still look trashy, but the art's better. Like they keep doing like low quality JPEGs. It's odd. Although I will say I think the lineup works much better for tall phones this time.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other one was awkward.
Yeah, this is much more formatted as you would want a phone wallpaper to be. And then next up, a few Vital Bracelet things popped up. The new firmware is out, which adds the NFT adventure mode stuff. They did an online battle event for April. They previewed the special selection set, and they'll be announcing the second one soon because they announced the winners of that. As confusing as they were. As for Digimon Color stuff, I like when the pre-orders open and they're not closed in Japan, so you don't have to like waft and wait. So
It's like, is the prices here going to be better, or
yeah,
should I get it from there?
yeah. So U.S. pre-orders are open. They previewed the V3 and the V4 in Mon Memo. We get to see Chaosmon and Chaos Drummon. Makes it easy on the names, I think, to not have to remember that one has a drum. You just say both, and it works out perfectly. And we get to see the wallpaper for if you connect all the devices. It's a File Island wallpaper, which looks really neat, I think.
Fun.
It almost looks like a PS1 image. So, yeah, it has like that low resolution polygon look to it. So I'm interested in that. And then we have cards. Metal Greymon always has fun images, doesn't he? He's just big standing there and slashing stuff.
Rest in fucking pieces, Tekamon.
And he does that in the Trident arm card also. Which does it feel like this has a more anime vibe on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mechanorimon, this is it's funny. A lot of times it is easy to go to Koki's art because of the kind of pudding quality to it, and then he does it in a slightly more painted style. It's just really gorgeous. The
Yeah, now
mecha,
it gets like the brushed metal
yeah, like the
look to it.
Mechanorimon looks beautiful. Like this whole thing, all the little Digimon. I'm really happy with that. High Andromon looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, he certainly looks like a Gundam standing there in that pose. Greymon looks like Greymon, and we've seen this art before anyway, so it's just why. Where Garurumon,
Just like looking at the background.
yeah, Where Garurumon, we've seen the art before also. It's funny how sometimes just seeing it in better quality, you just go, wow, it looks so much better. And then we get
I'm so
him,
glad his tail is back.
and we get him with his brass knuckles, giving someone a bad day. And then we get the purple Elecmon. He's just happy to be here. I really like the Bakuman one. It feels more brushed painting than Koki often does. And
So
it's,
fluffy and dreamlike.
yeah, that's it. It's fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so Garurumon's weird. I really like the art. There's an issue with the art. Have you guys noticed what it is?
That is a weird angle of him.
So it's supposed to be him doing like a jumping leap and
Yeah.
but except here's the thing: if you look, he's like barely off the ground. I think it's an issue with the perspective, like he's supposed to be higher, but we're angled. But doesn't it look like he's standing on two legs, sort of?
It's
And
like he's landing already.
yeah, when it feels like
It's
with
hard
this,
to tell just because like the text is covering where
yeah,
his one foot
it
is.
feels like with a jumping attack like this, you want him to be like posing high in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I like the art. It's just the perspective's weird. And we got to find out EX05 Animal Coliseum, August 25th. It looks like the big thing here is going to be the four assholes and the fifth bigger gold asshole. And don't you like how we had a break and they're back to like something every fucking month? Because May is the starter deck, June is the booster. There's something in July, I don't remember what. And then in August we get a theme booster. But it was there anything? Actually, there may not have been something in July. I may just be wrong on that. But like we got like a nice multi-month break where like it was like, oh, they're gonna spread stuff out more because they have like 3, 4 card games now, so they're gonna like spread it out so it makes more sense. Like no, they just were
Nope.
taking a break, and now we're back to here's a set, here's a set, here's a set. This is at least a smaller set though, so we'll see how it is. I'm looking for it's weird because some of the theme boosters have been more thematic. Like the dragon one had a lot of things that were not dragon in any way, and they just kind of went. It evolves into a dragon later. It's like, look, I like Holy Dramon. Tailmon should realistically not be in this set. Neither should Patamon. Or like
Like at some point it passed a dragon on the
yeah.
ocean.
Or like in a few cases they play with the or like in EX04 was the alternative being one, right?
Think so?
Yeah. Where
I know it's all one.
where like here's the alternative version of the Digimon. And then they introduced the normal version to go right next. It was like, I think this should just be like the alternates. I think that I like having the normal ones there also, but these ones are only like under 100 cards. Yeah. Um, and we already have a Japanese release of the Chinese New Year's card. I still think that's a great looking card, honestly.
Yeah.
And
I
that
love the bunnies.
and that comes in the 2023 special set along with a deck sheet, which are basically sample cards for so you have physical things to make decks with, even if you only have one of the cards. I think a lot of people get the. I want to say a lot of people get these and frame them. I think I've seen for other card games.
Yeah.
That is an. It's an interesting lineup for that set. It's very much, hey, you want to frame something Digimon Adventure, don't you?
Here's all of the Taichi.
Yes. Card Battle finished off their Card King event. I had to get a screen cap when they showed that one Leomon option card where they're all running away from the explosion in Rebellionmon. I still love that card a lot. The most recent card battle went back to the Sayaka Strengthening Project, where it's, hey, they're showing her ways to improve her game. They showed off the Digimon Color also at the end. And then away from cards, hey, look, we found out what show and character won the survey. It's
We're so
Omegamon Ultra
surprised.
S from Digimon Adventure 2020.
Oh, we're shocked.
I like better the people complaining like they had a chance. Bandai had a chance. They could have done something interesting. No, that wasn't the point. The point was that they gave us a list of a bunch of interesting characters, and they picked the one that felt like it was obvious would win. And I pre-ordered it because it looks cool.
I am waiting till my next paycheck to do so because I have most of the other ones.
The instant there was U.S. pre-orders, I went and pre-ordered. Yeah. And it is nice that U.S. pre-order showed up so quickly because this is a general retail item in the U.S. So I just pre-ordered it, and it will show up in the pile of crap they put together for me at Big Bad Toy Store. $4 shipping for a pile of crap.
Nice.
I need to check. I don't think this is anything here is actually remolded, except maybe part of the head. I think this is actually an all-new mold.
I mean, it looks like it because I think Alter S's like toes are like differently shaped to begin
Yeah, I
with,
believe
like more like
I
claws.
I believe the Omegamon figure had flat toes, while Alter S has the up spike thing going on.
I would go and check in the other room where I have mine, but I'm too lazy, and I know I will be mobbed by the animals as soon as I open that door.
We need you to live through the end of the episode, Dev, so you have to wait. And then,
Yeah.
no shock that they're doing a poll for favorite Digimon from the version 4. The interesting choice here is almost any Digimon I can see ranking high, one way or another, except like one or two.
Yeah. Because they're all pretty popular in their own way,
Yes.
except maybe Mojimon.
Yeah,
I was
it's like
gonna say Colamon.
Yeah.
I think Colamon's like the bottom one here, because even Mojimon people like, because he's kind of goofy.
He's got a fun design.
Yeah. As for the winner, I'm going to go ahead and say it is going to be. There's actually 6 that I could see winning. Piomon, Palmon, Leomon, Nanimon,
Actually, that entire left-hand
Piccolomon,
side.
Yeah, really.
There's a lot of it. I'm looking forward to this one because this one's actually interesting. On the plus side, if Colamon wins, we can say for sure the votes were stacked.
Yep.
No one's like. Here's the thing: if Digitamamon won, I would go, "That's an interesting choice, but I can see it."
Yeah.
If Colamon wins, I'm just gonna be like, "What? Did someone rent time on Amazon Cloud Services to click a button?" And then from the weekend batches, first off, they showed the preview of the Beast unlock for the Vital Bracelet. The sprites actually look really good. I think Mad Leomon looks great, especially. And we got previews of the new Dreamers chapter.
I need to catch up on that.
Same.
And then, okay, wait, there's a lot. There's Dreamers there. Penthouse, who did I think it's the 6th ending to Ghost Game Take Me Maybe. They did a live performance of various stuff because they're doing a full album to celebrate that. And I think the live video of Take Me Maybe goes down later tonight, I think. Then we get a bunch of interesting stuff from China. First, a wave of Frontier products. CD themed keychains. I love how it's the packaging and a little fake CD, and you can change them around if you want to.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
We get the keychains where it's the D scanners on one side and the beast spirits on the other. What's weird is if you told me these weren't new, I wouldn't know they were new. Doesn't this feel like something that we must have gotten at least 5 times by now? And then the hardback version of Bokomon's book. I assume this is blank to be like a journal or diary, but I love like it looks like good texture
That
on it and
looks,
everything.
yeah, the little design, little cracks and stuff on the cover
Yeah.
to age it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
see, at first when I was looking at the thing, I thought it was a cover, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't.
Well,
This
that's
is
a
a
full-on journal because
yeah.
they've sold. I'm pretty sure they've sold that cover
They
before.
have. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like, oh, they're taking the design and they're doing a fancier version of it to be sold at, some pop-up shop in China. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is like an actual hardcover book thing. It has the nice cloth bookmark. It looks great. And the little page of the company making it even said this is not the final. That's why they put all the little hash marks and everything all over it. Is they aren't done designing it. They just wanted to show it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some interesting adventure stuff. I want to say the masks we saw last year.
Yeah, those look familiar.
And we've gotten versions of it before. I love the Koshiro laptop iPod case, where on the front it's the cover, but on the back it's the SD Digimon. That looks great.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
almost went.
really cute.
I almost went with the laptop design for my phone case because I got a new phone a couple months ago. I almost went to that. Went with just a very nice crest design of
Makes
all of
sense.
the crests in a nice pattern.
That sounds good. And then,
Classy.
and then, Digimon's doing a collaboration with a mobile game. There were so many names. It could be Ball Hero, Orb Hero, Sphere Heroes. So the trailer shows you have the 4 kids you would expect. Piedmon as the villain. Some art's new, some's redrawn. Like I'm pretty sure the 4 main key art pieces. These were the 2020 Shikishis from the Ichiban Kuji lottery, isn't it? Like
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think that's redrawn of that. They showed the little orbs. The File Island map people have really liked.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
People
Mm-hmm.
point out it looks like it's an updated version of the one they used for Crusader or Heroes. I don't remember which.
Same thing.
I
Uh,
always
It's the same
hmm.
style, but
I always mix up if they're the same ones or if Crusader
No,
was the
those are
one
those are the
before.
same
Yeah.
ones. Those are the same
Yeah.
ones.
And then do you like the little evil boss Paimon ball?
yes.
Yes.
It feels overdone but perfect, doesn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite Digimon of all time. I am absolutely fucking delighted.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like the TK and Yamato holding the orb. I believe that is completely new art.
It, that would stand to reason.
But then you look at like the War Greymon with the claws up. That's
Like,
not only
that.
redrawn. We saw that like 2 weeks ago. That is one of the volume covers for 2020 on Microsoft.
Hmm.
And the Andromon doing the arrow, that's been used so much I wouldn't even be able
Oh
to
yeah.
identify which time that art is. Although the winner is definitely Paimon Ball, I think.
It needs its own Wikimon page.
I like how you think someone isn't going to try to do that already.
Well, we know what your page of the day is going to be.
No,
Yes.
no. In the background, she's gonna find
Orb.
something.
Orb.
I was gonna say she's just gonna find something that's a ball and just link to it.
I think there's a Trailmon named Ball.
Yes, there is.
Go get that one.
Um, and then we got a new bit of social art for. See, what's weird is I don't know if they actually labeled it Children's Day or if things just kept translating it that way because that's the classical version, or Boys' Day because that's the classical version of the holiday. Because as far as I know, that name hasn't been in active use for like 60 years. They changed it to Children's Day like in the 40s.
Yeah.
But everything I had was saying no, it was specifically saying Boys' Day. So we get Dorumon and Ryudomon riding on a Seedramon streamer. It feels unfair to Ryudomon because they like put Dorumon in this nice costume so they're matching, but he's only in the costume because that's what Ryudomon looks like anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, doesn't
Ryu
need to dress up.
and Ryudomon is here showing more personality than he did in Ghost Game.
That's not that hard.
Yeah. And then we have questions. So you guys in the chat can start throwing yours up. Scroll down. Diego sent us a note regarding our World Trigger conversation last time and us joking about where is the Gundam on this Gundam cover. He says the white hair boy is the Gundam and he refuses to elaborate.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. I actually think that's a great gag because it does stoke them. That's the most interested I've ever been in World Triggers, hearing that. Like, I wonder what that means. I own the show, but I don't have the time and don't quite care enough to watch it.
Yeah, I just looked it up, by the way. Yeah, that is the text does use kanji and stuff for boys.
Okay.
It's like the holiday. It uses the old name for the holiday.
Yeah, as far as I know, that name hasn't been used for like 60 years. Like that's not
Yeah,
like
no,
that's not even like 5 years
like
ago.
the stuff in the brackets, the Tango no Seku, that's referring to a specific ceremony. But yeah, the holiday's gone. The holiday's been changed to Kodomo no Hi instead of
That's what I
whatever they put
thought.
there.
I kept wondering if my tools were translating it wrong because sometimes if specific things are used, it will overwrite them with known good translations.
Yeah, but like the
Yeah.
ceremony is what drives the holiday.
Yeah.
It seems like.
And then someone wants to know, do we remember any Digimon fan art you really liked?
So much.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, there's so much. I still remember this great image, and I know AR will remember this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Miyako and Daisuke fighting over chocolate on the ground.
Oh yeah, I've got that. I've got that saved somewhere.
Yeah, like
it's great.
Yeah, it's like it's like and I think the others are in the background just staring at them.
I don't remember if they're staring, but I think I've got that.
Yeah.
I'll see if I got that pulled up.
Yeah, I
see how fast I can.
I remember that image vividly because it's one of those images where it doesn't feel like there's any interpretation. It feels like you could have plucked it right out of the show, minus the art being a bit nicer than show art.
Yeah.
So it was always one that impressed me. I just remember it because it feels exactly like the characters.
Mm-hmm. I like all of the TKG crossover art is generally my favorite. Like I'll be honest, the one that particularly is there's one where it's a bunch of characters from different seasons that are kind of on a bridge, sort of like a Starfleet bridge, and that's actually part of the inspiration for Neverworld, is seeing that image and all the characters kind of doing their thing. I posted the image, and I posted the image that you were in the Discord.
Okay,
by the way.
Yeah, that is okay. Yeah. Oh, and they are all in the background looking at them like they're psychotic.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but yes, that is 100% an image that I remember because that is exactly those two characters perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that comes to mind the most is it was years ago on an Oekaki. Someone had made like this insanely gorgeous picture of Holy Dramon with like this beautiful sunset background and everything, and apparently they did it with just the mouse. They did not have a tablet doing that.
Wow.
And it was when they would have like the replay section where you could like see the progress of it.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't chime in with what I thought you were gonna say because yours is better. I was gonna go, oh, did you see an image of Goth TK?
Oh God.
I've seen a lot of those. That and Digimon Kaiser Yamato, and they had like an Angel Fire website.
The Goth TK ones were the funniest because there were little like short stories to go with them that were stupid.
That was just a thing back in the day.
Yeah.
But I put the bridge. Yeah.
Is that a bridge? I thought that was like an office.
A bridge office. I don't know.
See,
I guess.
See,
more office,
the instant you said bridge, my brain went, "What were they in Starfleet uniforms?"
Yeah, no, it's modern office kind of situation. Yeah. Digital world studies. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the. Yeah. I still laugh seeing that image because it just is great.
So much going on.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone wanted to know. I mean, they've let the questions of what do they think if they let the U.S. make a Digimon World game? There are U.S. Digimon games or games made more for the U.S. than for Japan. I mean, at this
It
point,
fucking sucked.
at this point, the games kind of are targeted more to the U.S. than anywhere else at this point,
A
because
little
that's where
bit,
their
yeah.
sales are. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: there is functionally no difference between countries when you're making games. There can certainly be cultural differences, but the idea of a game being good, bad, the location doesn't really matter. Uh, Like, there's, yeah, I think it's more a case of who would make the game than anything else. Because, like, Trope did a number of Digimon games, and people jump up and down on if those are good or bad based on the game. So I would say it's who would make the game. Like, if you said Bandai was going to work with, I don't know, Bethesda, I might get slightly concerned about what the game would be. Yeah. Uh, so the next one's interesting because I send Dev and AR the questions at night before I go to bed. And sometimes, if it's too topical, stuff changes in between when I send them the question. And this question was, could I explain why people are getting upset about the upcoming Superman animation disc? I take this to mean the Fleischer disc.
Oh.
Uh,
I didn't
I am
even
not
know.
aware. I'm not up on Superman animation discs. Although my kid was randomly wondering today why Superman's all that special.
okay, you guys know what Fleischer is, right?
Kind of.
Uh, Guy in the old animation studio. Some of the oldest Superman animation is him.
Oh, those.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay.
those
Yeah.
those
okay.
theatrical ones, like the
Yeah.
faster than a speeding bullet.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
The
Um,
OGs. Yeah.
yeah. For various legal reasons, those are actually public domain at this point. So you can imagine the quality of the discs we get, because technically speaking, anyone can do them. So
Yeah.
Warner always kind of does quickie ones where it's like they don't want to go to
Hmm.
the effort because everyone do it. And a Blu-ray's coming out, and Bill Hunt got his early, and Bill Hunt runs a well-known DVD Blu-ray site, and Bill's opinion was roughly, it's so terrible you should cancel your pre-orders to show Warner they need to do better. And we get screenshots, and they were found by someone I work with because someone else reviewed it and put up screenshots. And it's like, does it look great? Yeah, there's issues, but it looks fine. Like, and they
I
were
mean, it's
JPEG.
only gonna scale up so much.
Well, that's
You'd
the thing
think.
is there's definitely like denoising the colors. It well, Technicolor color correction's hard to do, and it always looks soft. There are certain
Yeah.
built-in issues with that film format.
Mm-hmm.
And since I sent you guys this, people have gone fucking insane. I mean, when I sent it to you, it was like, oh, Bill said this, and things are a bit odd at the moment because we don't know. Since then, the screenshots, it's like, does it look A plus plus? No, I can't imagine giving it less than a B minus based on the screenshots, but we'll see. Problem is, when it comes to AV stuff, people go fucking psychotic, and they've been like flipping out all day today. And I mean, like, full on flipping out psychotic rage. And I'm just like, hey, my pre-order's gone down to $23 and it's coming out next week. I'm perfectly happy.
I mean, if they think they can do better, it's public domain. Go
Oh
for it.
no, people are like, no, you need to track down the old Bosco DVD. That's the best one. And it's like, look,
Jesus.
look, I've seen the Bosco DVD. It's good, but like at some point, if you want it to continue to be relevant to people, do you need to revision it? No. Does it need to be in HD and look nice enough so you can stream it, so you can do stuff with it? Absolutely. Do I know how the disc looks for a fact? No, I've seen some screenshots. I think it looks fine. We'll see in a week and a half. It looks like a lot of people have already made up their mind, but yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Have any of us watched the thing that replaced Ghost Game? No, I have no interest. And I don't think the number of people who are like weirdly pretending to have interest in it because it followed up on Digimon is odd. There's no relevance to it at all. It is a random anime. The only time it had relevance was when it was
When
announced
we're making fun
and
of it.
and when we first saw that, oh, they're going to integrate the vital bracelet in it. And when we make fun of, oh, SPMon, there
Yeah,
is no
Spimon's in it.
there is no actual relevance to Digimon in any way. It has, and I can understand why you'd ask the question, but I have no interest in it at all.
Yeah, it's the thing that took the time slot. I don't care.
It's like I think Savers was replaced by Zatchbell. I have not seen Zatchbell. I don't think I ever will.
Oh, that fits the timeline.
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes of it. It's fine.
Yeah, I assume it's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Yeah,
But it has no relevance to me, is what
yeah.
I'm saying.
It was amusing enough for its time.
Yeah. It's like the same time slot. I think did Toriko air in the same time slot?
Oh, I don't know.
I've
Me
never seen
either.
Toriko. The only relevance I know of Toriko is that it's one of the rare off times in anime apparently started to go so downhill they did indeed just find something else for the time slot.
Ooh.
And the only time Toriko is mentioned anymore is when they're like, oh, we're going to air the grand crossover from 15 years ago of beloved animes, Dragon Ball and One Piece, and also Toriko's there. So yeah. Then next up, is the current lack of news suggest anything negative for Digimon on the whole? No, it just means there's not a show running, and they're not going to start up much because they have a movie coming out in a few months.
Yeah, it's
But,
can't be
believe
eaten every week.
believe me, in September when we're getting nonstop news and we're doing weekly episodes just to cover all the news, ask that question again.
Oh Lord.
Because
Enjoy the break while it lasts, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, that's the thing. Around September-ish, we're going to get cases where it's like, here's a pop-up shop, here's a cafe, here's a preview of the movie, here's a batch of merchandise that's going to be sold at one kid store, but we're showing it to you because there's plushies, and then they're also announcing a new V-Pet and a movie edition vital bracelet.
Here's a $300 figure.
Yes. And then they're going to re-release the Black War Greymon Digivolving Spirits figure.
Oh no.
but it's going to be colored with metallic paint.
And he's got a new hat.
Yeah. But we're all enjoying the slow time that we know will not last because that just is not. And here's the thing. It's still so busy enough that we could still have done a 45-minute a show every week if we really wanted to. It's just easier to just do it once every other week, or whenever. If the bucket fills up slower, you'll see us every 3 weeks.
We're still topping an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's an interesting one. What kind of chocolate Digimon do you like? I assume he means like actual chocolate Digimon, not like chocolate candies. I think the obvious answer is chocolate Agumon and chocolate Terriermon.
I try to convince you that Yuki Daramon. What is the mud version of that one?
Tsuchidaramon.
Yeah, Tsuchidaramon. Yeah, try to convince you that that one's a chocolate one and have at it.
Oh no, I thought of the ultimate answer. So, you guys know those chocolate covered oranges? Choco Citramon.
Yes! Choco Citramon.
Yes.
You say that, but I literally have a Terry's chocolate orange bar in my room right now.
I forget the brand, but like they're round
It's
and they're
Terry's.
blue and orange wrappers. And they're
Yep,
like
and
a
then you
sphere.
slam it on the table and it breaks apart.
Yes.
Citramon, the Digimon so popular it gets a palette swap.
Choco Citramon. And he like spits chocolate balls, but also still throws the juice bombs.
And if you punch him straight down in the top of the head, he just breaks up into little slivers.
Yeah. And Ian in chat points out Choco Gamamon. Ramon pointed out Choco Cutemon. Those are some good choices. Someone said, when Digimon Ghost Games discusses often regarding the lack of structure and how it doesn't quite work. It also seems to come up with Hunters. Are there any shows that we've seen be successful that are episodic for most of it while also interspliced with story episodes? I mean, the first off, that's like every sitcom ever.
Yeah, it's like coming into that, it's like you just go to sitcoms and
Yeah.
like pick your favorite. Like,
If you want to pick from anime, though, I believe at some point AR started watching through Sergeant Frog.
yeah, I watched a little of that. I think I got through I watched it a little bit again. I
That
think
is
I'm only
fun.
through like 9 episodes.
That is functionally what
That's
Sergeant Frog is.
yeah, I guess. It's
But yeah,
it's
that's
it's hard to tell because you do have that sitcom format where it feels like nothing is happening, but then you get to the end of the season, it's like, oh, I guess there was kind of a story going on.
I got the cartoonish single tear at the end of the season. Because it does the fake nuclear emotion make you cry thing at the end of the season.
Oh, nice.
Where it's like, yeah, you knew that it was coming, but it still gets a small tear out of you. So yeah, so basically any sitcom is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the trick with episodic is you still have to just
You have to
advance the characters a little bit or do something with the characters that's fun.
You have to make it interesting, and that
Yeah.
was the kind of flaw with Ghost Game, is it very often wasn't,
Yeah,
or
it's
or the position of the characters didn't necessarily make sense.
mm-hmm.
Like remember when Hero was like a handy guy with like carrying around tools and shit, and that's how
Yeah.
he was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then
And that was his special thing that makes him better than AG. Like that was his thing.
Yeah.
And they sort of forgot about that.
Yeah. Last call for questions in the chat. So I want to know, do you think we'll see more NX figures after Alter S? I would say yes, because the original
have they done Swart yet?
Well, that's the funny thing is originally we got Omegamon, Dukemon, and Alphamon. And then a few years ago they did the repaints of them, which was basically to bring the paint schemes up to modern things. And then they did the poll, and while we were waiting on the poll, they did Crimson Mode and Blast Mode. So with Alter S, we will have had more modern ones than the original.
So I think they're selling well enough that it keeps going.
Apparently, so I would. The Frontier one's ranked high. I still think like Kaiser Greymon would look great.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
I still want All Force.
Yeah. Look, I want All Force. I would like them to just brand it with Shueisha rather than being like, ah, yes, beloved Digimon Savers character. Wink, wink.
Oh, Ramon just threw out a bomb with Choco Zenimon. I love that.
Oh no.
Oh, I feel like he has to sing. I feel like he has to sing the Dreidel song. Choco Zenimon. Yeah, that's a great one. Just where it's just the chocolate, where it's just the metal covered coins. That's a great one.
Foil coins, yeah.
Yeah. AR, what have you been up to, and are you doing anything of interest?
I'm doing a lot of convention work right now, so I'm kind of bogged down with that at the moment. I am going to be, speaking of conventions, at Anime Central next week. I'm not doing a panel, so I understand they might hit me up last second, but things are weird. But so plan right now is that I'm not doing a panel, but we'll see what happens. But you can still find me at the convention. I'm usually at the Kitsune. I'm hanging around the KitsuneCon table.
And Dev, what Wikimara article do you like people to read?
Chaos Piemon.
I somehow my brain blanked exactly when you said it.
So did mine. I am very tired.
AR, what did she say?
I thought it was Chaos Vmon, but
Piemon.
Oh,
Piemon. Okay.
Okay. You can't say it in French after we brought him up, and I don't think you said it once that way, Dev. Exactly. Yeah, so I expect we will be back in roughly, I think about 2 weeks has been working.
Yeah.
So we will catch you guys next time. Thank you everyone for showing up, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.